want to go anywhere. Hi. Hello. So I'm gonna do the Cancer thing today. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull before and after the Cancer cards. So, and I'll go from the Queen of Cups. No, yeah, Queen of Cups to the Chariot, and then it'll be the Two of Cups, Three of Cups, Four of Cups, and I'll pull before and after, and it's gonna be a thing. Um, but I don't know what deck I want to use. So now I'm like, what deck do I want to use? I kind of want to use the Fable Makers, but I don't at the same time. I could use a deck that I haven't used, a deck that we haven't seen the Chariot in. I've used both of the SKTs. I kind of want imagery, so I don't want to use something where the pips are super pippy. And I was kind of hoping that once I clicked go live, I would just know. You know, I almost want to use the Science Tarot, but that's way too much. I could use the Witch's Tarot. Or the Diablo Tarot is way too big. Let's see. When in doubt, ask the virtual assistant. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5, 6. Hey Google, roll a d6, please. If we can't hear it, it doesn't count. There we go. Bixby can actually do this. Hey Bixby, roll a dice. Roll a die.
Okay, here we go. Let's see what comes up.
She's tired.
You threw a 5.
A 5. Okay, I'll be right back. That's the big box. I could use the Anatomy Tarot. Oh wait, I'm on the computer. I have this. There you go. Or I could use the. I think I am. I'm gonna use these. And I might regret it, but that's fine. And they're right on top, which I love. Happy post new moon in Taurus. I don't even know what the degree was. I don't know if it was in my first house or if it was in my 12th house. If I had to guess, well, statistically speaking, it's like May 8th. So it was probably in my first house, which I could see. Yeah, I could see it like straddling the line. I feel direction in a way that feels more true. I had a dream last night. I think I met some ancestors in a dream last night. I don't remember the setting specifically. Well, I don't remember like the reasoning, but I was somewhere and it was the way that somebody was singing. I was like, yeah. And then it was like the whole family. And I was like, yeah, I'm definitely descended from you. Okay, Queen of Swords and the Ten of Cups at the cut. All right. I haven't used the mystical medleys in a minute. There was a magician. I know sometimes when I first got it, it was a little hard to read. But whenever there's context, or when I can find the context, sometimes things become a little easier. The Two of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. 1 second. Let me go to the big screen. Thank you. Two of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. This is giving me something's coming. It's either something's coming or something's missing. Because it's like it's a feeling that something is happening, but it doesn't see it. All right. So this is the way that we're going to do it. Any card, I'm going to give it 5 shuffles and then a cut. Any card that comes out in that time is to be discarded. It's not a part of the reading. If we end up losing, I don't have a title card in this deck. I wanted to pick a deck that I had a title card in. So it's fine. Is it? Yeah, it's fine. Excuse me. I was going to say if we get a title card, then that's where the reading ends. Because sometimes I believe it's not for us to know everything. There are some things that we find out as we continue to live our lives. I really wanted a title card where there's the happy squirrel and the sad squirrel in this deck. So if I see either the happy squirrel or the sad squirrel, that means it's over. Any card that comes out before I finish the shuffles and cuts is to be discarded, or it's not a part of the reading. It's saying like, I'm not a part of this. And I think that's it. Again, so I'm going to do, am I going to do, no, I'm not going to do all of them. So I'm going to, after I do the 5 shuffles in the cut, I'm going to shuffle cut and I'm going to go in order. I'm going to start with the Queen of Cups, the 2 of Cups, 3 of Cups, 4 of Cups, and then the Chariot. And we'll see. I don't know if these will be like progressive. And then the Ace of Cups with that Page of Pentacles. See, it was the 2 of Cups. It's a ghost. In this deck, it's a ghost. It's something that some eyes don't see. But you could feel like the chill and the eeriness. This is the thing that's like there. But it's like it's already there because the ghost is already here. But it just can't be seen. Interesting. 3 suits. Page of Cups, 2 of Swords, Ace of Cups. I guess 3 of Wands would be the thing missing. Like a page and then 1, 2, 3, which would be accurate. All right. 1. Oops, somebody flipped over. 2, 3, 4, 5, and a cut. The card that flipped over is it Temperance or the Star? Any card that, I said a card that comes out. It's gray, so I'll keep it. It didn't fall out. All right, I'm going to look from the bottom of the deck because it'll go a little quicker. And a card flipped over. Oh, it's Temperance. Temperance, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles. And then the 10 of Cups is at the bottom of the deck. Temperance feels like it's this Ghostbusters-esque type. Like it has this special device and these special glasses that can help it detect The ghost. Okay. I was trying to think of like supernatural, paranormal. It has all of this equipment to help it detect the ghost. It feels like temperance is mirroring or mimicking. It's alignment. Like whatever the ghost in the Ace of Cups is doing, it feels like temperance is keyed into it and matching its movements. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles to the Queen of Pentacles, which I'm not surprised about. Oh, the Page of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. Okay, cool. I forgot about that page that we kept seeing. Now, it's interesting that it's temperance because we didn't see any fire. We saw the Page of Pentacles, the earth, with the Two of Swords, air, and the Ace of Cups, water, but we didn't see a court earth card with fire. But temperance plays that balance between water and fire. So it's almost giving me the Magician in the Tarot Apocalypsis. Fire above is water below. And now my brain just broke. Fire above. Also, I remember what I wanted to say like weeks ago, I feel like at this point. There's a show that I'm watching. I've been watching shows with parallel universes. Also, I've read a book with like past lives, but I'm watching a show that takes a familiar story but takes it further. So it's almost like what would have happened or what this could have looked like had this continued and this path wasn't taken. I don't remember why I was bringing that up, but I remember that that's the thought that I had. Is that related to this? Maybe. Um, oh, that's interesting. I've never noticed that. Oh, wait, never mind. I thought it went up into the sky. Maybe it does go up into the sky. I read this like sky blue as a sky blue. And for a second, I didn't see the differentiation between the sky blue and the purple in the sky. And I was like, oh, this path, it like goes up into the sky. It goes up a mountain, but same difference. But that heavenly fire, or heavenly fire is water on earth, it fits this because temperance would be able to gaze into the flip side or the other side to know. And we saw the Ace of Cups with that. So it's like the water is fire or the fire is water, or we have all four elements present to some degree. I wonder if this temperance is also doing some kind of adjustment. So like in the same vein, if the heavens know that if the heavens know that fire there is seen and interpreted as water here, then all of this, the gadgets and gizmos, would be to give us something in a way that we don't have to retranslate or in a way that we don't have to decode. So it's a lot more straightforward. It gives us water for water because it knows that if it gives us water, we may interpret it as some other element like we do for fire. Now, I guess the confusing thing is, and the reason why the Two of Swords was here, is that if we're used to translating messages, then we may translate a message that we don't necessarily have to. If we're used to like decrypting encoded messages, and this one is straightforward, then we're applying a formula in a situation that we don't need to, because this time it was given straightforward. But the Two of Swords would be the one that knows, that's tapped into that. Now the Two of Swords wouldn't, well, I'm using the Queen of Cups today. So the Queen of Cups is Cancer. So she's not our pre-high priestess. So to be fair, I did kind of take that off the board. But the Two of Swords, I like the Two of Swords with that Page of Cups because that's the one that would know, like, hey, like something's different, something's off. Like my intuition is telling me that like it's not necessarily how it seems. And it's because I'm seeing it as this water to water today. The water from the cup above is water in the cup below. So it's a message that's given decrypted. And whatever it is, it feels like, hey Kirsty, how are you doing? I'm doing all right, I think. I feel rested today. I had a bunch of weird dreams last night. I had so many weird dreams last night. And I'm like, and then it was, at first, I feel like it was fairly normal. And then it was a weird dream, and I woke up and I looked at the time and I was like, oh, maybe I don't got to get up at 9 o'clock today because I think it was like 9. And then I went back to sleep and had like weird dream. I'm like, okay, it's time to get up because I don't want another one. It's fine. How are you? I'm doing well though. Thanks for asking. I think I want to say I know. But I'll say I think because something else could come up. But I'm pretty sure of the direction that I want to take right now. And it's interesting because it's very much so what I wanted to do, but not in a way that I ever thought to do it. It's kind of like what I wanted, but not in a way that I ever thought about going about it, which is interesting. So I think it's worth pursuing. And it would put me, like, I feel like I would have loved Texas for the vibe of the area, but for the weather, no. I don't know. This place feels more all around like things that I would like. And it's not like, oh yeah, but like I would be absolutely miserable for the majority of the year because me and heat do not get along. Or like to be somewhere where it's like nothing. So, and then come to find out, like this area is known for whatever, anyway. So we'll see. I'll keep you updated. Excuse me, how art thou? Ooh, excuse me. But yes, it's like did I say that? It brings something home. Did I use that phrase? Because I was like, with the pages, Pentacles, and the Two of Swords, I was like, this is something that's either missing or it brings something home. This is like bringing it home. This last piece. And I don't know if it matters. I don't know if this is necessarily related to something that maybe we've been it's almost like one of those like give me a hint like if you're guessing a word and someone's like give me a letter, give me a hint, give me a clue, like give me another hint, give me another clue, and then you basically end up like spelling out the whole word. Or if this is because I watched Reem's, I think it was the collective reading. I think I started the Scorpio one. Did I finish it? I started Scorpio, and before I finished Scorpio, the collective was out. So I watched the collective, and I don't know if I ever went back to finish Scorpio, but I'm pretty sure it was the collective, and it's in the title. I think she said it in the Scorpio too. What? Really? I mean, that makes sense. Like when I think about it, I'm like, yeah. But like, if I don't think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's already been a year. That's exciting. You'll have to let me know what y'all are like gonna do. How it goes. I hope it goes amazing. I hope everyone's well and no one's like got the sniffles or something on that day. Excuse me. And I don't know. There was something about this Temperance and the Knight of Pentacles. That vibe of something being overcomplicated. Like, because Temperance and the Knight of Pentacles are very similar in energy. I would say that the Knight of Pentacles is pre-Temperance energy. And maybe the Seven of Pentacles is minor Temperance. The Queen of Pentacles is also Capricorn. Pluto is going to be retrograding in the Capricorn. The art style of this deck is very Disney Pluto. Or very like old school Disney, which is kind of the point. I don't even know if it's necessary. Like old timey cartoons in general, which includes some of like early Disney, I think. Why do I say that? Because the Nine of Pentacles is arriving to the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is giving me Capricorn. I don't know of anything else in Capricorn right now. I know Pluto's going to touch Capricorn. Yeah, because everything is like Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, and soon Gemini. So the moon will hit Capricorn. Anyway, this is a long time to spend on not even. But Capricorn opposes Cancer. So. Okay. That's just the bottom three cards. Now I'm gonna look, like I said, excuse me. We're gonna go from Queen of Cups, Two of Cups, Three of Cups, Four of Cups. The Chariot, I'm gonna shuffle in between any card that comes out that is not. Oh, I just hit the happy squirrel, but I didn't see it. And it didn't come out. I'm putting the cards down and I'm still at the bottom. So the Ten of Cups comes after the Queen of Pentacles, which like this is gorgeous energy. Temperance, Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Ten of Cups. Like it's taken a minute, but it's arriving. And like this, there's such a, the Ten of Cups is such a happy home. Take it as it resonates, and dysfunction has many, many, many degrees. But there's something about this happy home Ten of Cups energy that has limited dysfunction. And so any dysfunction would have been worked out, solved, healed, resolved, worked through, whatever, effectively overcome in this Temperance Knight of Pentacles phase. Now that it's coming home to the Queen of Pentacles, it can build a home. It's not coming together to fall apart. And then the Queen of Wands and the Four of Swords was after that. And then I saw the Eight of Pentacles. And when I put it down, I was like, oh, that's in kind of thick. And the Happy Squirrel was right behind it. So. And then Strength is behind this, 8-8. This year is going to be at 8-8-8, right? August 8th, 2024, 224, 22448. All right, looking for the Queen of Cups. The sad squirrel, the Chariot, the Queen of Swords is before the Chariot, and the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups, oof. Knight of Cups, Queen of Swords. That's like big oof energy. I guess it doesn't have to be. I feel like the Knight of Cups, Queen of Swords, especially with the Temperance, Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Ten of Cups energy. Like the Knight of Cup, the Queen of Swords is like, look at her. Oh, look, she's got 2 moons, and a baby. Because she's had the baby and because the butterflies are in the back, it's like the Queen of Swords is a lot softer now, a lot more receptive to this Knight of Cups offer now than she would have been before the butterflies changes and before the baby. It's like there's been enough time and enough space between her and the battlefield that she can put it behind her enough to recognize a good thing when it finds her. And to not overly condition it, to not overly or unnecessarily condition it. Now, her conditions are her boundaries, which are very important. It's almost like the communication of those boundaries would be enough, because whatever this good thing is, it wouldn't continuously and purposefully cross boundaries like an energy in the past may have. And that's why it's coming out as the Queen of Swords. Now, if that Queen of Swords ain't ready, that's why it's like big oof. Because she's like, oh yeah, no, I'm good. But then after that is the Chariot, the Four of Cups, and the Sad Squirrel. We ain't looking for the Chariot yet. We're doing this in order today. Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles. What am I looking for? The Queen of Cups. Is she going to be at the bottom of the deck? Or the top, because I'm pulling from the bottom? Oof. Since we looked sort of around the Chariot, we'll peek. I guess we can take a peek as we go through these. So right now, the Two of Cups is in between the Three of Pentacles and the Nine of Swords. This is more so giving me almost a performance anxiety. This could be someone who receives an invitation to collaborate, but doesn't value their own collaboration, that doesn't value their own gifts, skills, talents, abilities, experiences enough to see themselves as a contributor. And so they may say like, oh no, like it's fine. Like you want someone better than me. Like you don't want me. And then look, after the Nine of Swords is the Seven of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands. Seven of Pentacles is that minor temperance. Apparently now, as we've established earlier today, Seven of Pentacles is minor temperance. Now this Nine of Wands is interesting. I'm sorry. I'm just like, I just remembered another dream that I had. And I'm like, the dreams were wild. That one I could have not remembered. I don't know why I remembered it. So I had a dream that I was in a car with somebody who was like, I guess kind of manic. I don't know. And they were like speeding and they would not slow down to the point like it was red lights. We were hitting red lights. Well, first it was like yellow and then it went red. And I was like, oh, you just ran that red light. Like you have to stop at the red light. And then they just like started running red lights. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, can you stop the car? What is happening? And then, of course, I'm like, I can open up the door and like roll, but the car was moving too fast in traffic, but I had the keys. So what I did was I put the keys in the car and I like turned it off. And I was like, I'll wait until it slows down enough for me to safely roll out of the car. And so, of course, I do. And I have the thought, I'm like, what if this person like just turns the engine? I didn't take the keys with me. I left the keys in the car. I should have took the keys with me, apparently. I just turned it off, waited for it to slow down, and then I rolled out the side. I should have took the keys with me because I was like, oh my gosh, what if that person like tries to hit me? And of course they did. So now I'm like ducking and diving through. Like it was like stopped traffic at this point. It was wild. I was okay by the end of it. Like I woke up before anything happened, besides them trying to whatever. I think they moved on. I don't know. It was just like, what is happening? Do you not see the red light? Hello. I was praying for them red lights too. I was like, oh, red light, that means they have to stop. No, they just blew through the red lights anyway. I don't know why I'm remembering that dream now. But with this 9 of Wands, I don't know if this is an Ace of Wands into an 8 of Wands situation. And the person is like following the arrow because the wands seem to be behind this paved road or whatever. And he's like standing on it. I don't know if the 9 of Wands, like if he's guarding something and he put that sign up to like to detour people around whatever it is that he's guarding. I don't know. I've got questions. Hey David, how you doing today? Now, the 9 of Swords, 7 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, because of the narrative right now coming fresh off of this 2 of Cups that's right here, of someone not feeling like they can contribute or be a valuable member of some team. So maybe because they feel that way, they seek out other opportunities. They detour themselves. Which, like, especially in a professional sense, like if you need to get more experience or whatever, then like it's what you do. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to get more experience. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to seek out experiences to make oneself more comfortable with whatever. I think the problem can come if we never, like if there are some things that we never realize, like if we stay in that feeling of like not good enough to pursue what it is that we actually want. That 3 of Cups or that 3 of Pentacles felt like it was like approaching, like we want you to be involved with this, and then it's like no, it's like no, you don't, you think you want me but you don't, type of, you know. Still looking for that Queen of Cups. King of Cups. Queen of Cups. We done found her. It's interesting that the 5 of Pentacles comes out because the 5 of Pentacles was a card that came out the last time I was live, question mark. Either the last time or the time before that. It was the last time I was live because I was looking at the Pluto retrograde and it was the 5 of Pentacles, the 7 of Swords, and the 4 of Wands. I'm glad to hear you're good. Oh, let's pull him. The King of Cups is right here with the spyglass too. Oh, snap. I don't know how I feel about this. See? Okay. Okay. All right, there's a whole story here. I'm going to end it here. Like, I could probably keep pulling more cards, but I've already pulled enough. So, let me pull these before I forget. Let me put them on the table. The Queen of Cups is in between. This is, I was going to say Mercury. The Fool is air. Did I call the Magician air? The Magician is Mercury. I feel like I saw the Magician recently and I was like, air, Uranus. Aquarius. Or maybe it was the Fool. Maybe. No, it might have been the Fool. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe it was in that same reading. Because the Fool did come out. So our Queen of Cups starts in between the Magician and the Five of Pentacles. And this may be very accurate. The Magician and the Five of Pentacles is where we're starting with this Cancerian energy. What's interesting is I think they're usually depicted this way. But what's interesting is there's no as above energy here. We see the fingers pointed down for the as below, and the wand is raised. I think it's usually depicted that way, but for today, it's coming out like there is no as above. There's only what's below. So if we're starting with the Magician and the Five of Pentacles, this is one of those, like, we continue to manifest Five of Pentacles energy in our lives. Places where we don't feel welcome for whatever reason. And maybe it's like, maybe it reaches the point along a healing journey where we've healed enough that we don't feel welcome in the old places that we used to frequent. But maybe there's something that we lack within self that keeps us from accepting the things that we are currently deserving of. So we get stuck in this limbo. Like, I'm not welcome there because, like, that would be me going back and falling into these habits and patterns that I recognize aren't good for me. But I'm not welcome there because I'm not good enough. And so it's like, and because the Magician is reading only as, like, as below, and below we have the Five of Pentacles, it's almost like at the beginning of this, there's nothing more, there's nothing beyond, there's nothing greater to, like, pull off of while we're, like, magicianing, manifesting, doing whatever. Because the things that we do want, that we manifest, like, and one of them is blindfolded, right? So maybe this is the one that has struggled in the past, maybe, to accept the things that are for them. And this is the one that knows that they can't go back to where they just came from. And so it's like the things that we do manifest that are for our greater, for our higher, that are progressive, that move us forward, that are the fruits of our healing work, we don't accept. And the things that we manifest from, it's like, let's say that we have this amazing opportunity, like that was around the Two of Cups. Let's say we have this amazing opportunity that we manifest, but we psych ourselves out. And then we dip. And when we dip, we manifest something that's closer to the past. But then maybe in between the dip and when the manifestation comes in, or maybe seeing the manifestation that we manifested, seeing the actualization of the thing that we manifested when we were in the dip, we're like, this isn't where I'm at. And so it's like this limbo in between type energy. Now, all of these cards down here, I saw the King of Cups. So it's the Queen of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, and the King of Cups. This is how it pulled out. And they're looking in two completely different directions. Like, it's not necessarily like this. We're like, oh, now they're coming together. It was like this. And maybe that's fine, because maybe in however this resonates for you, the King of Cups or the Queen of Cups could be a person that it's like, that isn't home anymore. Like, maybe someone felt Five of Pentacles in their own home, or in a relationship, or in a family unit, or at a job that maybe they used to really love at some point. But with that Three of Cups, or with the King of Cups, I see the Three of Swords, like, aiming in the same direction. And that's when I was like, ooh, what is going on down here? But behind that is the sun. So now I'm like, yeah, maybe like there have been those opportunities that triggered like trauma responses. And then behind that, the Nine of Pentacles and the Sun, like this is someone who would be able to be like self-reliant. And then behind this is the Six of Cups, the Five of Wands, and the Eight of Swords. And so maybe like this is someone who's always been made to like question their own judgment, or someone who's never felt that they can stand on their own, that they can be self-reliant and self-sufficient. It could be for like emotional, mental, psychological reasons. It could be for physical reasons. And there are different degrees of truth to that statement. Like if someone is literally a child, then like, yeah, maybe maybe you need someone to like support you because you're literally a child. You know what I mean? Like you're a child. You're not supposed to be out there supporting yourself. It is the responsibility of your parents to do that. And if you have a parent or a guardian that makes you feel like a burden because they have to care for you, like, girl, that's how the world works. You produce offspring, you care for them until they are of age and a maturity to do it on their own. But it's like with the Six of Cups, this is almost what was instilled in somebody. And like with this Eight of Swords, like there's this entire like king or queen. There is their castle, but they're kept separate from it, blindfolded, separated. Maybe this is a whole bunch of mental games to make someone feel like they're less worthy than. And so because of this, when those opportunities to be like self-reliant, independent, to stand strong, to be like self-supporting, to not have to rely on somebody, like it triggers these old traumas. Like it feels like the Three of Swords is the Sun and the Nine of Pentacles to this person. And it has to fire this Ace of Swords to get someone to realize, to break that three. Now, what's interesting is this is an Ace of Swords that reduces a Three of Swords to a two, rather than an Ace of Swords that creates a Four of Swords energy. And we started with the Two of Swords, in that Page of Pentacles. Then with the Ace of Cups. The Hermit is on the other side of the Magician. So heavy, heavy Mercury minus the Gemini energy when we're starting. And maybe that's because there wasn't an abundance of like self-love. Again, because like, according to the narrative, this could be someone who wouldn't have accepted that love had the lovers been there anyway. So there's like a whole side of Mercury. There's a whole side of communication and stuff like that someone just like isn't tuned into receiving. And I wonder if, because temperance, like to temper something is also to dilute it. And so I wonder if there won't be like a gateway opportunity or a gateway chance encounter or it's like something or someone that gets us to think about things differently, to see ourselves as more capable, to see the world as not as bleak as it is. As it is. It's something that comes in to challenge. One second. Oh, it ended up focusing anyway. I was gonna manually focus it, but it was like, oh, we'll get right. I'm gonna, like, whenever it blurs, I'm just gonna fix it today. It could be one of those because Temperance came out and it was like when it was fire, that was meant to be, when it was fire to water, there was something about that we couldn't get or that we couldn't receive or that we didn't receive. And so temperance is coming and the divine is coming and like, okay, well, let's give it as water so they can take it as water. Because sometimes we need those more gentle whatevers. And here within the past like week or so, I've had um that whatever again where I'm like, maybe sometimes I should be a little more gentle or whatever. But then again, I'm like, maybe this is my own stubbornness. Maybe this is me and my understanding that whoever that needs to get whatever, they will get it from somebody in some way that they can take it. But I don't know. I just feel like more often than not, it seems that when we consistently take a too gentle approach or a too whatever approach, like we get comfortable and complacent. And then it's like things don't change or things don't get done. Like sometimes we need a push, or sometimes we need it like all truth with a little bit of extra, maybe perhaps unnecessary, but it's people to be out there and do that. Like, I don't know. And I feel like I am capable of being like, like the Emperor and the Seven of Wands. It was the King of Swords and the Seven of Wands before. This is an energy of someone with like a long-term plan. Almost like dress for the job that you want, not the job that you have type of energy. That's a King of Swords. See, but it's interesting. That's a King of Swords that makes decisions like an emperor. Now, the King of Swords, if he plays his cards right, someday will be an emperor. And if he's used to making decisions as an emperor, then it will cut down on the time where he's like getting used to his new promotion or whatever. But at the same time, in the same breath, it could be the King of Swords worrying about things that aren't for him to worry about, making choices and decisions that aren't for him to decide. But yeah, I was just like, it's fine. When I'm capable, like, there are some times when I'm like extra whatever, and those times are those times. I am capable of being like kind and warm and gentle. 10 of Cups with the 10 of Swords. All right, now we're going to get back into this. This 10 of Swords is interesting. The Magician was missing an as above. It had the so below. The 10 of Swords, which is Gemini, which is the side of Mercury that we're missing because we had the Magician and the Hermit, but we didn't have Gemini. Mercury rules both Gemini and Virgo. Like it's supposed to have the as above, but the as above is like split. It's supposed to be together. Interesting. I wonder too if someone could have received an opportunity or like it's almost like it goes beyond an opportunity that's too good to be true. Because it's like it's an opportunity or something that makes someone go like almost hostile. Like someone's like, hey, like we think you'd be a really good fit for blah blah blah, whatever. Like let's say, for instance, I have been trying to use like not necessarily the first interpretation that comes to mind. So sometimes I'll settle for fruits, right? So let's say, for instance, someone thinks that they're allergic to peanuts because that's what they were told. Let's just go with that. We're not gonna make this as okay. Let's say that someone in this metaphor, in this story, there's a more direct way that I don't want to go there today. I don't, you know. So let's say that someone's allergic to peanuts because that's what someone told somebody, right? Let's say that for whatever reason, there was someone who was petty and jealous or whatever. And so whenever, and there was see, I ended up back in the story again. Whenever they felt a certain type of way, they would make somebody like a peanut, maybe a peanut butter and jelly, or maybe just like a peanut butter sandwich. And they would put something in the peanut butter to like mess up their face or whatever, or to make them extra sneezy or miserable. And the other person, they're like, every time I eat a peanut butter sandwich or every time I have peanut butter, I have this reaction. So I must be allergic to peanuts. And it's like, girl, they were messing with your peanut butter sandwiches. But, that's the correlation that someone has, because in what world would someone tamper with someone's specifically peanut butter sandwiches? You know what I mean? But anyway, let's say we go out into the world or whatever, and someone offers somebody like peanut butter cookies, like genuinely, like from the kindness of their heart. They're like, hey, like I was up all night making these cookies. I hope you like it. And it's a peanut butter cookie that tastes divine. Now I want a peanut butter cookie. Um, and they're like, oh my gosh, you know that I'm allergic to peanuts. Are you trying to kill me? Like it's all this hostility. It's an opportunity that generates hostility because of a self-perception. Now, in this story, the person isn't allergic to peanuts. They only think that they are because of what used to be done to their peanut-based dishes, and it was a very logical conclusion to reach. Every time I have something with peanuts or peanut butter in it, I feel a certain type of way. Therefore, I must be allergic to peanuts or peanut butter. Like, that's a very logical conclusion, but within the confines of this story, they're not actually allergic to peanuts. It's just every time somebody felt some type of way about them, they would give them a special peanut butter sandwich. They didn't know that they were special. Anyway, like the opportunity is genuine, but it creates this hostility within somebody. And that's almost like this divide in the above, or like that's somehow related to the Ten of Swords and the Ten of Cups. Oh, look, but now it's the Ten of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles. Okay. Maybe it's generational. Right? Like maybe there's a certain type of person or a certain type of environment that people end up in generationally. And it's like one of those generational curses, generational blockages, generational whatevers. And it only takes for someone to break it. Ooh, I love that. The Ten of Swords just came out. You know what that means? We're done with the Ten of Swords. Any card that comes out during the course of this, that is not what I'm looking for. Even if it's what I'm looking for, when I'm not looking, if it comes out, it gets discarded. The Ten of Swords is no more. Bottom of the deck, we have the King of Wands, the Nine of Wands, and the Five of Wands. Now we are looking for the Two of Cups to see how this progresses. King of Wands, Nine of Wands, Five of Wands. This is interesting. The King of Wands is a director in this deck. This is some kind of orchestration. If you've ever like kind of sort of low-key been through stuff sometimes, and maybe it's after the fact, you like look at the grand scheme of things and it's like, wow, like the timing of everything was so perfect that had this happened or had that not happened, I would have been in this completely like, it's like, for example, like when I was in kindergarten, we had a foreign exchange student from Japan. That's what sparked my interest in like Japan, mostly. Yeah. That's what sparked my interest. And then the more that I learned and read, I was like, oh my gosh, I would love to visit. So in high school, I was like, I want to do that. And I'm pretty sure it's the same year. Um, I would have only been able to do it my senior year, and my mom didn't let me because she was like, "You're gonna miss your senior prom, and like your senior year is too big for you to go out and like not be here for any of those things." And of course, I'm like, I don't care about prom. I don't care about any of these things. But I didn't go to Japan. But the year that I was supposed to be there, that massive tsunami hit. Um, and I was just like, I was listening to somebody. I don't remember who, and they were talking about like on the day of another tragedy, how many people got a feeling to like stay at home or like not go in, or like maybe they got sick or the kids got sick or something happened and they weren't at whatever place when whatever went down. And it's almost like that level of orchestration, that level of like timing, that level of like, because now the Nine of Wands, like this is a detour. The King of Wands director, it's almost low key giving me the Archangel of Glory for some reason, just because it's that like, who else has the power to direct? Um, is trying to detour around some Five of Wands energy, or it's trying to get somebody to leave a Five of Wands energy. And again, we just saw this Five of Wands with the Eight of Swords. And it's interesting that it's a baseball game because there are essentially four bases. And it forms the diamond, which is a square. And it's like the director, this Nine of Wands is getting someone out of the box and to stop playing whatever this game is. And then we have the Two of Pentacles right after the Two of Pentacles and the Two of Swords. Do I go? Do I stay? Like, cool. We are looking for the Two of Cups. Looking for the Two of Cups. The Four of Cups is in between the Page of Cups and the sad squirrel. Oh, not the sad squirrel with the baseball bat. Maybe this is like devil energy manifested in a person or in a job or something. Because this feels more like someone that's like, you can't leave. Like, what are you doing? If you stop playing the game, then there's no one left to play the game, and I'm not gonna play the game. Like, I'm not gonna be on the field. I'm supposed to be up in the stands type energy. I don't know. It's something that wants the game to continue. And then the Four of Cups and the Page of Cups is like, yeah, or not, because when you play the game, that's how you feel. Like, why would you want to continue to, And then we see the Seven of Wands again. All right, looking for the Two of Cups. Eight of Pentacles, Happy Squirrel, and the Fool. After the Fool is the Nine of Cups. After the Nine of Cups, though, is the Devil. So maybe this is someone who's like, you know what? Maybe I would be like happier if I just left. And then devil energy may be like, oh, or maybe you'll be more miserable. And at least here, you'll be miserable. You won't be taking a chance that you'll be miserable. It's like, there's a 100% chance that if I stay, I'll be miserable. But if I leave, there's a whatever percent because we don't know. Because we haven't experienced it yet. So there's a 20%, 50%, 90%, 10% chance that we'll be miserable. There's a chance that's less than 100% that we'll be miserable or that something won't work out. And, Emperor and Empress together in Judgment. Eight of Cups, Judgment. Eight of Cups is that walking away. The Sun and the Moon are like fighting in this one. I kind of love it though. Because again, this is like the 100% chance that we'll be miserable if we stay, but we know that we'll be miserable. So there's like almost some comfort in that. And then the 10, 25, 90, 99.999, 50, 1, 0. percent chance that we'll be miserable. That again, like devil energy was there. So it could be literally like that sad squirrel, the one who's like sad if we stop playing the game. They could be like, oh, well, if you leave, then it'll be like this and it'll be like that. And you're going to wish that you had come back. You're going to wish that you had never left. And when you come crawling back, like, blah, 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 girl, you leave, you ain't going to never want to come back. Okay. And you'll never have reason to. Hello. Anyway, if it resonates. But it's like the things that we've already seen and experienced, duking it out with all that we feel is possible. And again, it was the Two of Swords, Two of Pentacles. Like, can we really step off of can we really stop playing the game? Can we really, whatever? Cool. But it's Eight of Cups, Judgment, Emperor, Empress, and the King of Pentacles with the King of Cups under the King of Pentacles. So yeah, Emperor and Empress meet when we walk away. There's that judgment call. Maybe judgment is just like we have to be the ones ultimately to decide whether we stay or whether we go. Sometimes the universe will make a decision for us. Sometimes we'll get fired. Sometimes we'll get broken up with. Sometimes we'll get whatever. And like, that's our out, that's our opportunity. But then let's say sometime later, either the job like reaches out, they're like, hey, like, we're short staffed. And like, ever since you left, no one knew whatever, like you, when we've been struggling, like, would you consider coming back for like a 5-cent rate? No, they may just be like, would you consider coming back? And you're like, yeah, like for how much? And like, on the same pay. Girl, maybe even less because you lost seniority or something like that. Or like if it's a person that like, maybe it was a situation that you didn't know how to get out of and they ended it. And then after some time, they try to come back and you're like, no thanks. Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe you do. Chariot is in between the Knight of Swords and the Three of Cups. Definitely not. The Knight of Swords may not know everything, but sometimes the Knight of Swords knows enough. This is a Knight of Swords that knows enough to know that they should be charioting, moving in a direction that is this Three of Cups. Like, it's an environment that celebrates you and your differences rather than ostracizing and isolating you for how you're different. At the very least, it's not competitive and combative like the Five of Wands. This is more so in the direction, like the Three of Cups on the road to the 10 of Cups type energy. This could be that gateway opportunity, gateway meetings. It's like the first time or the first group of people that you meet that validate you, that show you like what real friendship is or what true love is, or that what really being valued and appreciation like looks like and feels like, or that you're not outrageous or crazy or difficult for establishing boundaries, because these would be people that honor those boundaries. And you're like, yeah, that's how this should be, like more of that. And then you continue in that direction. And then the Six of Wands is up after that. So yes, very much so. Very, very much so. That energy. Six of Wands, Eight of Wands, and then the Two of Cups. Let's go. Once you have that realization and recognition, once you know what to look for, girl, it becomes easy to spot. And maybe with that same orchestration from the King of Wands, you could be on the quick path to whatever kind of precursory long-term fulfillment. Because the 10 of Cups is the happily ever after, like, but they already have a family in the 10 of Cups. So the Two of Cups is like when they meet. This Eight of Wands goes into the Two of Cups, which is our next energy. And then the Hangman is on the other side. Excuse me. Actually, I think it was this way. It's before the card and then after. Five of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, and the Magician is how it came out. Eight of Wands, the Two of Cups, and the Hanged Man. We have the Magician under the Hanged Man under the Magician. The way that I'm landed on the table and the way that it came out, because I'm laying them out before, after. I'm laying them out before, significator, after, but I'm pulling from the bottom of the deck instead of the top of the deck. So the way that it came out, the Eight of Wands would be heading towards the Hangman. I don't know if this is like just in the nick of time. I don't know if this is that like hold the door, I was about to miss my flight. Oh my gosh, thank you. And then the romantic in me is like, this is that like Hallmark rom-com, like you're rushing, and then you're like, hold the elevator, and someone holds the elevator, or you're rushing onto your plane and like you're unwinding and you're like, oh my gosh. And then you look over at the person that you're sitting next to and you're like, and then like it becomes a thing. Because it's like as the Hanged Man is like drawing his last breath, like desperately wanting to be cut free, the Eight of Wands comes in like real quick and just like, he's like, oh my gosh, thank you. That was looking real dicey for a hot second. But when they're on the table, they're like, the Eight of Wands are headed towards the past. So for the integrity of the message, I'm going to put them after. Well, no, I'm going to put them in the way. I'm going to put them down this way because that's how I see them. That's how I see the energy moving when I pull the card. So I'm going to put it down in the same order. Oh, wait, girl. Yes. It was the Eight of Wands and then the Two of Cups and then the Hanged Man. But the Eight of Wands is to the right of the Hanged Man. That's what I'm like. Usually the card before is to the left and the card after is to the right. But to preserve the integrity of this so that when I see it, I'll remember. I'm doing it this way. The Queen of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles. There we go. Thank you. And the Queen of Swords. Okay, all right. We're done. And Death. And behind Death is the Hierophant. Behind the Hierophant is the Wheel of Fortune. And behind the Wheel of Fortune is the Two of Wands. But anyway, we ain't got to go that far. There's our Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles that the Knight of Pentacles wrote to. The one that finally got it. The one that's like, oh my gosh, yes, thank you. I've been waiting for two. It's like I've been waiting for 3 whole days. And Amazon Prime delivers in 2 days. So I was getting anxious. It's like, girl, you used to have to wait like 5 to 6 weeks. Now you only got to wait two days. Come on. But that anticipation be real sometimes. And it's with the Ace of Swords. This is the Ace of Swords that the Three of Swords tried to fire at whoever through the King of Cups to get us to realize something. And it's with this Nine of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles. This is someone with that corrected view of self. And it may be because of what the Three of Pentacles or what that Three of Cups energy does for somebody. This is someone that can now see themselves in a truer lens because it's not a perspective of them force-fed by someone who benefits when like they're not in their power. And maybe the benefit isn't monetary. Maybe the benefit is like there's someone who's going through their own internal stuff and maybe they feel like they're not good enough for whatever. And maybe they can see things within someone that they're with or someone that they're friends with. And because they don't want to be alone, they don't want their friend or they don't want that person to know or realize that they're too good for them and leave them. And so they tear down their self-worth, their confidence, and they play games to make the other person reliant upon them. And it's like, girl, like, regardless of the reason why, though, like no one should be treated like that. And tearing others down doesn't help build us up. Like we have to build ourselves up to really build ourselves up. You know what I mean? Like making every other place a desolate wasteland isn't going to make your grass any greener. It just creates a world where there's no grass and the cows starve because there's nothing to eat. And then it throws the whole ecosystem in the whack because cows ain't the only thing that eat grass. Rabbits eat grass, and the foxes eat the rabbits, and the eagles eat the foxes, and the circle of life. But this is someone who, again, has that realization, who can be in their power because maybe because of those gateway opportunities, maybe because that one person that like believed in them or validated the truth of them rather than instilled a false narrative. And then it's like the Queen of Swords is behind that. That's the Queen of Swords who is now ready to receive an Ace of Cups, but she wouldn't have been in the past. And maybe that's what quickens this energy. It's almost like if you have, like if you place an order at a store or whatever, and they're holding it for you, but they can only hold it for a certain amount of time before they have to put it back into recirculation for whatever reason. Like you haven't paid for it yet. Like if you paid for it, maybe they would hold it indefinitely. Maybe. But it's like you have it's reserved. And like, let's say you have something reserved from 9 to 10, like dinner reservations. And maybe that's breakfast reservations from brunch reservations from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And it's like 9:55 and someone's asking for a table. And they're like, well, it's 9:55. They haven't come. It's going to take longer than 5 minutes to go through the process. By that time, their reserve time would be over. And it's different if they come like 9:10, 9:15. You're coming like 5 minutes, 3 minutes into the end of your reservation, you've forfeited the spot. Because now you're running into the 10 o'clock, right? And again, if circumstances, anyway, it's like right before a reservation is given up, like maybe there's something that you did manifest that you weren't in a position to receive when it came in, but the opportunity is still there. And like now, again, coming off of that 6 of Wands, now you're hightailing it towards the things that have been waiting on you. Like with the Hangman, it feels like they've been waiting on you, waiting for you to sign, waiting for you to pick up, waiting for you to receive. Ooh, Ace of Cups, 6 of Wands. Love that. Now the Ace of Cups ain't a ghost no more, or it won't be a ghost because you're ready. Cool. Now we're going to look for the 3 of Cups. And we'll cut it. And we're looking. We have the Hermit again, the 7 of Cups, and the Devil. Also with the 7 of Pentacles. And then the 3 of Swords. With the King of Cups. Now it's the 3 of Swords and then the King of Cups. Before it was the King of Cups and then the 3 of Swords. I feel like, so the Hermit is coming through as these internal realizations. These are external realizations that are prompted by external events, circumstances, and happenings. Something external provides a counter case to a certain narrative that we've been buying into for whatever reason. And as we consider the validity of this counter case, it's like we see more and more and more and more evidence that supports that narrative is true, and another in the narrative that we've been fed is like actually false. And as that external recognition is happening, the changing of the narrative is having all of this internal, it's like It's like it's this brilliant white, like it's this white sphere in my mind. It's this white sphere, and it's like shooting off these beams of light, and it's that cue a visual effect. And it's like getting brighter and brighter, and like shadows are like dissipating, and maybe there's some shadow monster that's like as it like fades into the whatever. Like it's literally banishment. Let me see if here it is. It's literally banishment as the light is like purging these shadow creatures or whatever. And they're like, ah! As like, it's like, oh my gosh, like maybe I'm really not like that. Maybe I like what? Like that part, like that's this hermit. And then maybe it's like, oh my gosh, like I was doing what? I was thinking what? Like maybe it gets to that point where it's like it doesn't even make sense. Like maybe someone convinces you that like you're selfish or whatever, and maybe you buy into it, but then when that narrative like clears up, you're like, selfish where? Like I do so much for so many people. Like, where am I selfish? How am I selfish? Like that doesn't even make sense. Like, what? It's like, girl, like they don't anyway. And then it's the Seven of Cups, the Devil, and the Seven of Pentacles. I feel like the Seven of Cups, the Devil, and the Seven of Pentacles is the space after this realization. It's the space of like breaking habits, breaking patterns. Oh, look, there's the ghost coming out of the cup. There's the Ace of Cups. It don't look as happy as the Ace of Cups do, but it's like when we are making choices and decisions that run counter the old narrative. And the Seven of Pentacles, like maybe this is an exasperation. I think that's the word I use. Like this is someone who's feeling very exasperated. Hey, Google. Hey, Google. Define exasperation.
Here's the definition of exasperation: a feeling of intense irritation or annoyance.
Sure, why not? Yeah. This is that exasperation of like, it's almost like whenever we fall into a routine or a pattern or a habit, it takes a lot of thinking, a lot of choice making, a lot of the mental functioning. And because our brains are hardwired, it may even be physically easier because brains, neurons, bioelectricity, motor, the body, neuroplasticity is a thing, right? And so we've created all of these shortcuts to do all of these things. But now that we're doing things the other way, it's like it's a lot more thinking, it's a lot more choosing and deciding. It feels like it's a lot more work just because we're doing things that we're not necessarily used to doing. So our brains we don't have the benefit of the habit when we're breaking a habit. And so maybe at some point it's so much that it's like, girl, I'd rather have been where I was. Like at least I didn't have to think like this much. I didn't have to consider so much. Like it's that exasperation building these new habits, basically, which is like someone could literally be changing not only like who they are, but the entirety of like the structure of their life or the entirety of the structure of the way in which they go about living. And it's a lot of work. Like there are a lot of things that even when we're not doing anything, there are a lot of things that we encounter internally, internally, externally grow. Like high key, maybe I'm projecting, but I remember like this phase of the journey. Now, at this point, like my habits have changed. I can be more excited about like finding out the new stuff. Like, what am I actually capable of? Like, what? How much further out of my despair can I get? How much further out of the box can things go? But I know at one point it was almost exhausting. Like just having like thinking of the future and like before, like pre Darkest Night, Patrick did not consider the future at all because pre Darkest Night, Patrick didn't have a future. So living was easy when there was no regard for tomorrow. It wasn't a thought of like, oh, well, how is this going to affect me in the long term? What does this mean for my life in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, tomorrow? It was like, if I, but now it's like, or then it was like, I have to like consider things because I actually plan on being here and I don't want to be miserable. So there are some things that I have to do today to make sure that I can enjoy tomorrow. Right? Type stuff. And then I feel like the Three of Swords and the King of Cups after this energy, it's almost like, what else am I not seeing correctly? What else have I misperceived? What else can I like? What else could use some illumination? You know? So now it would take, because this Ace of Swords is already fired. We saw that Ace of Swords last time. So now it would be two swords, right? So one sword would be left in the heart and it's firing out another sword and it's trying to get all the swords out of the heart. And this King of Cups is helping. If the King of Wands is the Archangel of Glory, the King of Cups is the Archangel of Healing. And that makes sense. So again, like I was like, it makes sense. So looking for the Three of Cups. Ten of Cups, Nine of Cups together. Look, all of these cards, none of these have been at the top of the deck so far. The Four of Cups is in between the Knight of Cups and the Two of Swords. The Knight of Cups has made its way back to this Queen of Swords. They weren't together the last time I saw the Queen of Swords, but they're together again now. I like this. To me, it's standing as receptive. The Queen of Swords doesn't see it coming, but she's, again, receptive to this Knight of Cups, just like the Four of Cups doesn't see this coming, but this would be a Four of Cups that's receptive to it. Maybe it's a Four of Cups that's grown a little impatient. Again, we did have that Seven of Cups, the Devil, the Seven of Pentacles. Sometimes having choices, when we're not used to having choices, can be overwhelming. Just like sometimes not having choices when we're used to having choices can be overwhelming. It's like, what do you mean I don't have any choices? What do you mean I can't choose? What do you mean there's only one? Hello? How am I supposed to compare? How am I supposed to make a economical whatever decision when there's no competition? You know what I mean? I have no choice but to pay your price. I don't know about that. That doesn't sound whatever to me. And this Two of Swords is still in the feeling of it, but now it's open. It doesn't see, but it's open to receiving. Cool. And then we have the Two of Pentacles, the Sad Squirrel, and Justice. This was the Devil Energy incarnate. This is the one who didn't want us to stop playing the game. I think justice for the Sad Squirrel is going to look different for different Sad Squirrels. I think some Sad Squirrels, their justice will be to have whatever rectified within them, and for them to come to some realizations and for them to reach their own happiness. But sometimes, like, while they're overseeing the game or while they are themselves involved in the game and like keeping whoever else in the game, like they can't move beyond the game either. So it's not until all the players stop playing the game that they then get to or that they then choose to step away from the game to then find whatever healing, whatever they need that would make them happy. The justice for some sad squirrels is to be players in the game. To be players in the game that they once had other people playing. I think regardless, it's not necessarily for us to oh, here's our 3 of Cups. Look how many, this is how many cards I had left. These are all the cards I went through to get to this. We have the Lovers. What I love about the Lovers coming out now is we get the other side of Mercury. Now we get the communication, interpersonal communication. Now we get, again, the Lovers represent choices and decisions. So it's interesting that choice or decision fatigue came out earlier. But it's the Lovers, the 3 of Cups, and the Queen of Pentacles. Now she is on the table. The Queen of Pentacles has gone from immediately, is he really? Tell Rob I said, hey. I don't know if I'll be able to catch him because I'm probably still going to be live for another hour and a half. But tell him I said hi. I think he mentioned feeling like reading or something. The Queen of Pentacles is now finally on the table. She's gone from the bottom of the deck to right outside the window. Now the Queen of Pentacles is welcomed with the Lovers. And again, the Queen of Pentacles was the one who was receiving whatever the Knight of Pentacles was bringing. It was coming home. Now, we have the Chariot. The Chariot is under that Queen of Pentacles. Now, the Chariot is the last stop for Cancer. So there's something here at stop number 3, because it was the Queen of Cups, 2 of Cups, 3 of Cups, and then it would be the 4 of Cups, and then the Chariot. But there's something about the Lovers and the Queen of Pentacles that brings an energy of Page of Cups, Ace of Wands. So it's the Chariot, the 5 of Swords, the 9 of Pentacles, and the Sun. The 9 of Pentacles and the Sun are together again. And this 5 of Swords, is interesting. This 5 of Swords is collecting these swords. This is it's over. The Giant has come in. Whatever was happening in between these men, I don't know if they were capable of reaching a resolution or if it just didn't happen in a certain amount of time. But the Giant is coming in, it's taking away all the swords. It's this is over. No more. And again, it's interesting if I feel it's kind of sort of almost related to that. I feel the sad squirrel is almost a part of this. I don't know if it's when there are no players that are left to play the game. It's over. Or, maybe it isn't. Maybe this is just at this point, the sad squirrel isn't going to have any power. The sad squirrel isn't going to have anything to hold over someone, or the sad squirrel isn't going to have anything to entice somebody with. The game is over. And that's why the Chariot blows right past this 5 of Swords energy to the 9 of Pentacles and the Sun. On the other side is the Tower and the Ace of Cups. And the King of Swords. Look at it. So before the Lovers is the Tower, the Ace of Cups, and the King of Swords. King of Swords has that on his crown. So the double moon has moved from the root and the Queen of Swords being receptive to it to the crown of this King of Swords. Now, the Ace of Cups in the Tower, it's almost like this is a good tower. And it's coming off of the Six of Wands. Three of Pentacles, Six of Wands, King of Swords, Ace of Cups. Like, this is good energy. But it feels like it's energy that someone wouldn't necessarily be used to accepting or receiving. And there was like the choice fatigue or the decision fatigue or the healing fatigue of like, man, like life was simpler when I was in a habit and a pattern when I was in a rut. Yes, maybe I was more miserable, but like I didn't have all these choices and decisions to make. And then it's like someone gets over that decision fatigue, and then like the Ace of Cups comes in, and it almost feels a little bit more overwhelming in the best way than it does like tiring or fatiguing. It could come with a little bit of fatigue if someone is still healing, like, let's say, like a partnership wound or an appreciation wound. Like this level of appreciation for someone to get to, especially in the beginning, for someone to get accustomed to, maybe a lot. But it feels like it's more just like it's the arrival of the thing. And of course, it would be a tower. If we follow the narrative as it's come out, like this would be this Ace of Cups would essentially be the castle that was in the Eight of Swords. Or it would be inside of the castle. The castle feels like it's the building. So the castle feels like it would be more so like being empowered. But it's almost like there's a difference between being empowered and like the Ace of Cups would be the being in being empowered. It would be the part that lives it in the everyday. So it's a lot more felt. It's a lot more emotional. Instead of it being like the sword, the thought, the idea of the empowerment, it's the being part, right? Like it's the difference between knowing that you're gonna live in a castle and like being treated like royalty. Like when you're actually treated like royalty versus like someday that castle is gonna be mine. The Fool and the Ace of Pentacles. Love it. I love like this Ace of Pentacles is the same color as our Ace of Swords. Our Ace of Swords was a little beat up, was a little battered, was a little bruised, but was happy because it had made it through whatever. The Ace of Pentacles is like, yippee. Anyway, I'm going to try to get a good shuffle before we head into this last two. Eight of Pentacles and the Five of Cups. And again, same rules. If anything falls out, if it flips over, doesn't mean I'm not necessarily going to consider it. But if it falls out, it is saying, I'm not a part of this message. You don't even have to shuffle me. I don't even want to be seen. All right, I'll give it one more. I'm going to cut. So far, the Ten of Swords is the only thing that has fallen out. And I'm not mad about it. Four of Wands, the High Priestess, and Justice. Four of Wands, the High Priestess, and Justice. Because the High Priestess is here, this is feeling like it's getting into the territory of the as above that we weren't even in a position of being able to see or consider at the beginning of this, because the magician was purely as below. Now that we've hit the lovers and the Queen of Pentacles, now that we're able to see this other side of Mercury, which is interpersonal communication, like the internal communication was there with the Hermit. We've been seeing the Hermit all over the place. But interpersonal communication has been suffering. And I guess I wouldn't be surprised if that sad squirrel energy has been someone communicating a narrative to us that is not us, for their own benefit in whatever way they benefit, even if it's just like company and not being lonely or whatever. Like, on a certain wavelength or from a certain framework, we could say that real love would never hurt somebody for them to stay with us. The human part and the human understanding of how love is communicated or how love is whatever, when we personally feel whatever, it's possible. It happens. I guess I should say it happens. Sometimes we hurt people that we care about so that we don't end up alone or whatever. But it's not for us to be hurt. We ain't made and created to live hurt, whatever lives. We can get it together and be in each other's lives. Like, we can stay in each other's lives in positive, empowering, beneficial ways rather than subjective, limiting ways. Anyway, now that Mercury is complete, now that we see the other side, we have that internal and interpersonal communication. There are things that we can see almost in the greater scheme of things or on the grander scale. Four of Wands, Justice. Girl, at this point, you deserve it. You earned it. We are looking for the Four of Wands. The Chariot is right up here at the top. Page of Wands and the Hermit. As I was literally just talking about the Hermit. And the Queen of Wands is after that Page of Wands, or is after the Hermit. The Queen of Wands is after the Hermit. As I was literally talking about, now we can see those. Oh, look, the moon won. Remember when we saw the sun and the moon fighting in the Eight of Cups? And we've been seeing this crescent moon like literally all over. Now the moon is like sitting with this queen, or sitting with the high priestess. The moon with the high priestess means that now something can be communicated as fire. It doesn't have to be diluted anymore. Like, now, by this point in the process, now we can receive the vision as the vision and not be so intimidated by it that we self-sabotage, that we seek a more comfortable opportunity, that we detour ourselves. And so now we can now, I guess we did have the Eight of Wands, but it's like now fire can really like show up. Too bad I'm not looking for the Chariot. Let's see how deep I have to go. Looking for the Four of Cups. We've been seeing the Four of Cups. Well, I've been acknowledging the other parts of Cancer before we got to them, to like build out to flesh out the the story, the narrative, the picture. Four of Cups is in between the Two of Swords and the Knight of Cups. We have the Ten of Pentacles before. So before the Two of Swords, it's the Empress, the King of Swords, and the Ten of Pentacles. After the Knight of Cups is the World, the Five of Swords, Seven of Cups, Six of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, Page of Cups, Five of Wands, the Emperor. Took us a while to go to the Emperor, and the Three of Swords. Behind the Emperor is the Three of Swords. This would be the third time that we're seeing the Three of Swords. So this would be the last sword that was in the heart being pulled out and fired, leading us to an Emperor energy. Cool. And Death is behind that, with the Queen of Swords behind that. So we saw the King of Swords on the side of the Empress. Here is the Queen of Swords on the side of the Emperor. And death transformation. Now, this death transformation would because, again, like the third sword is pulled out of the heart. This heart is like good as new. It's brand new. It's a heart that's been remade. Yeah. So it makes sense that that transformation is there. I'm going to put these cards back, and then I am going to read these. Oh, I was going to say it's interesting how, again, we started with the High Priestess, and I was like, oh, that's the moon from the Two of Swords. And now it's here. Again, the last time we saw the Two of Swords, I believe it was with the Queen of Swords, and it was receptive. We're receptive to the things rather than... I don't know. Now, according to the reading, there's something about time here. There is a sense of time here. And with Temperance, it was like there was something that we weren't getting, or something that we weren't receiving. And so the divine and the card of Temperance changed the approach in which it communicates it. It took a more watery approach because we weren't translating the fire in heaven as water on earth. We were divining fire and thinking whatever. It was some kind of miscommunication. Enough time passed that they took a different approach, and it gave us Temperance, water for water. And then in the Five of Swords, we saw time too. I don't know how that time was marked, but that's when the giant came in and was like, this game is over. I'm taking all the swords. Let's get this a few shuffles. I'm going to shuffle it more. Ooh, the Happy Squirrel and the King of Cups. Again, there are no more swords in the heart. So now the King of Cups just sees the Happy Squirrel. Love that. I would honestly low-key love for the Happy Squirrel to be next to Temperance. The Eight of Cups has just turned over and fallen out. Oh, look, the fight between the sun and the moon are over. I said that with the High Priestess. The moon won. No more Ten of Swords, no more Eight of Cups. Knight of Swords at the bottom of the deck. I'm going to shuffle it 2 more times, though. I'll shuffle it 1 more time because I still have to actually look at these. I love that today it's like after these energies have been retired, then they come out. Like the Ten of Swords retired. The Eight of Cups retired. There was the thing, the diamond that is the square, but it was more so the castle and like the Queen of Pentacles being that Capricornian energy. This is also the union of the Cancer Capricorn axis. Cancer. So this is the second decan of Cancer, the Scorpionic decan of Cancer. And then the Queen of Pentacles, Cardinal Earth is Capricorn, and we have the Lovers. But there was something about like building the home and then coming home or something like that. I had it and then I lost it. Or maybe it was like when the Knight of Pentacles meets the Queen of Pentacles, they create the home. But then with that Ten of Cups energy, it was like building the home. Or like that's the family moving into the house. Two of Swords, Knight of Cups. I feel like this is seeing it. Everything that the Two of Swords has been feeling, but it hasn't been able to see, the Knight of Cups is bringing it. This is a knowing, this is a feeling, this is a belief that predates physical evidence. Up until this point, everything else has been supporting this. And again, we just had that energy. I think it was with the Four of Wands. It was somewhere like in this pool or at the end of the last one, where it's like the thing is coming in and this is the thing sort of arriving. The thing that we felt, the thing that we were seeing, the thing that we were believing in. We have two fish, which is Pisces. Pisces we sort of saw in the Hanged Man. Water, Neptune, Pisces. That came out with that Eight of Wands. This is like seeing it, feeling it, experiencing it. This is that moment, again, where we realize the orchestration of things. But this is like at the moment that we receive it, that's us being able to look back on everything that we went through and experienced that got us to the point of not only being receptive to it, but also receiving it. Being receptive is a part. Receiving it is another part. And sometimes those parts have a lot of overlap, like we saw with that Eight of Wands. Sometimes as soon as we're receptive, the opportunity is already there. Sometimes there's a period of time between us feeling receptive and us getting the opportunity. What happens in that in-between time, I don't know. I think the Five of Wands almost flipped over. We can retire that too. All right, I'll give it two more and then I'll cut it and then we'll go. Looking for the Chariot. We have at the bottom of the deck, again, the Hermit. Virgo is apparently Cancer's best. Whatever this Cancerian energy is, Virgo has been its best friend, which I'm not surprised because I'm not. Oh, look, there's a Chariot. Thank you. I didn't have to search for the whole deck. So, oh, look, and then there's Strength. So it's the Hermit, the Seven of Cups, the Chariot, the Page of Wands, and then Strength is after the Page of Wands, with the Hierophant behind Strength and the Four of Pentacles behind the Hierophant. Around the Four of Pentacles, we have the Emperor and the Hierophant. I was curious because we just had the Four of Cups. So the Four of Pentacles would more directly oppose the Four of Cups because third decan of Capricorn opposes third decan of Cancer. And this is giving me like personal power versus this is a power that originates in self, personal power. This is a power that is the result of the belief of others. So there's a certain amount of power that we get because others believe we have that power. And then there is another kind of power that we get because we are capable. And it's beautiful when there's a marriage of the two. Because it feels like when there's a marriage of the two, statistically, it feels like easier to correctly wield that power or to not become necessarily like tyrannical. it's like a respected leader type energy. To hold that power and to be believed to have that power, or to have a faith in one's power. Sometimes we have faith in things that have no power. Sometimes we have faith in things that have power. This is when we have faith in something that has power. And it's opposing this Two of Swords, Eight of Cups. I'm actually going to honorable mentions that right there. And then we have strength. Of course, the Emperor is there. Of course, we have the power. Strength is there. We realize we have the power. And whatever the power is, I'm just going to say right here, it is subjective. There is power in many things. Or many things can be elevated to a position of power. Right? Like everybody thinks. Everybody has thoughts to some degree. But for thinking and for thoughts to be power, or the source of one's power, like everyone imagines, but to imagine or to have a power behind that imagination that brings into reality. Now, from a certain Kabbalistic, if that's the word, way, you can say, well, all thoughts create things, so all thoughts are powerful, and all imaginations create things, so all imagining is powerful. It's like, yeah. But to imagine the things and to think the things that actually bring us whatever we desire, like that is power. Because there are people who are capable of manifesting a whole bunch, but does that does that give them the happiness that they're looking for? Or is it just like the money and the cars and all of the 3D stuff that does nothing for the spirit of that person? Someone can be really great at manifesting abundance, or what we would see as abundance, but that abundance brings them no fulfillment. Some people are really good at imagining the worst, and so they experience the worst. Anyway, we have the Chariot. The Chariot is in between the Seven of Cups and the Page of Wands. And again, the Page of Wands is looking over at strength. It looks like the wand of this Page of Wands looks like the tail of the lion. And the curl of the hair in the Page of Wands is giving me the mane of the lion. I think the page becomes the lion, low key. Seven of Cups, Page of Wands. Now the Chariot is about the balancing of forces. So this is interesting. The Hermit is here immediately before the Seven of Cups. This is power. Like the Two of Swords and the Nine of Cups was manifestation in terms of manifestation. It's like this, the Seven of Cups and the Page of Wands takes the manifestation of the Two of Swords and the Knight of Cups and turns it into some kind of power. It's like it goes beyond. Like all thoughts create things. Yes, but for thoughts to be someone's power, the thoughts go beyond. We all manifest things in our lives. Some things we want, some things we don't want. But for manifestation to be power, it would have to go beyond that. For super strength to be super strength, it has to be strength that supersedes human capabilities. There are strong people, strongman competitions, whatever. But when that strength supersedes limitations, it becomes power. Like, this is someone at the point of this chariot with the Seven of Cups and the Page of Wands. This is almost someone who's given free reign. Like, this is a drawer, a chest of drawers. This is a shelf, whatever you call this thing I'm blanking on right now. Anything that person desires. This is one specific desire that somebody had that we've gone on a journey of being able to accept or being able to receive. We've gone on a journey of being receptive to it to actually receiving it. This is the completion of Cancerian energy. Now, when we take it into the major arcana, when we enter the realm of power, whatever someone wants with the Seven of Cups, they will see in this Page of Wands. This is the water becoming fire. What was water on earth has become this, it's almost like it's becoming a vessel for this heavenly fire on earth. And it doesn't get diluted or it doesn't get distorted as it goes from above to below in the same way that a lot of things do. It maintains that property and aspect of fire. And that's why it has all of these options in water. Like this, it's almost like this is the above where the magician was purely below before. And because fire, heavenly fire, can be translated in so many different ways, again, like that's the power of the choice or the options in the Seven of Cups. But it's a page. Of course it would be a page. This is a page of, this wouldn't be a knight or a king or a queen of wands. It feels like the positions of knight, king, and queen of wands are reserved for the heavenly, for the divine. For the heavenly and for the divine on the side of divinity, or the heavenly and the divine on the side, on the other side of the veil. It feels like this supernatural exceeding limitations. It feels like if it were to go any higher than the Page of Wands, then it would interfere with Earth being what Earth is. It's like Earth wouldn't be Earth if the knights, kings, and queens were incarnate and had that same level of power and ability to affect the material as they do when they are on the other side of the veil. Because at that point, it's almost like you should just like make your own creation. You know what I mean? It's almost like, let's say that you are running a collaborative, whatever, and someone is just like taking over everything. And it's like, at this point, why don't you just make your own? Like, all the choices and decisions are yours. The final say is yours. All of the input doesn't matter unless it's yours. So this isn't collaborative at all. Like, why don't you just make your own? So like, that's why it feels like that's why there's I don't want to know if it's like a hard cap, I guess, because the soft cap would be at the Four of Cups. But that's why it feels like there's a hard cap at the Page of Wands and the Seven of Cups. Because anything beyond that would be us like basically making our own creation. Earth wouldn't be Earth at that point. or the 3D, like this experience wouldn't be an experience at that point. So anyway, this is what's been going on with Cancer, I guess. I don't know. I guess I didn't necessarily. Well, I guess, yeah. So all the times that we've been seeing the Chariot lately, and I guess this makes sense. It's almost to get us to this point where the soft cap can be overcome, where the limiters can be taken off within reason. Cool. Oh, and look, the Hermit has this golden. It's interesting that the candle is in the lantern instead of this star. Maybe after this Page of Wands turns strength energy. This Page of Wands is so beloved by the divine. They're like, anything you want, you can have. Your wildest dreams, your wildest manifestations, it's yours because we love you so much and we know that things won't get weird. Like, you're not going to manifest world domination. You know what I mean? Like, come on. And that's why, like, oh my gosh, we just love you so much. Anything you want. Your wildest dreams, girl, yours, and that's all the other whatever, it'll resonate differently for different people. I feel like even when we are gifted and granted those levels of the fulfillment of our hopes, dreams, wishes, and manifestations, there are purposes and reasons beyond just the immediately personal that also benefit. And that's why this angel is like, yes. That's why the divine is like, yes. Either you will introduce something into the world that it is sorely needing, or you will contribute to your community, or whatever. Cool. And then again, on the flip side of that, well, let's see what's before and after the devil now. Because that's major arcana Capricorn. The 10 of Pentacles and the Sun. And the 10 of Pentacles is multi-generational. The 10 of Pentacles, not only is it enough for more than one person, it's also shared. This isn't hoarded. And then the Sun, it makes everything brighter. It makes the whole world brighter for like the whole whatever percentage of the earth that faces the sun while the sun is out, it all benefits from the light of the sun. This is what stands immediately opposite to that 7 of Cups and the Page of Wands. This is the reason why the divine is like, yeah, we'll co-sign that, because that's 10 of Pentacles Sun energy. Like, hello? Cool. And, again, it's the Chariot. So the energy itself is the unionization of polar opposites, which we saw when the Lovers ended up coming out. Whew, cool. I got to finish early enough. It's only been 2 hours. I thought this would be like longer. Let's see. Rob might still be live. I might be able to catch him. I'm going to get a final card, though, because y'all know I like to... I shuffle the cards anyway before I put them back. I very, 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 very rarely just, like, put all the cards back and then, like, whatever. So, if I'm going to do it off camera, I can do it on camera. The video at this point is basically over. Am I going to try to come back and do another 10-minute video? I don't know. Sometimes I was my mom, I think it was yesterday or the day before, she was like, "Have you been live lately?" And I was like, "Not as much. Like I just haven't been feeling like being live for like 3 hours." And it's difficult for me to be live for like 2. Also, the timing of this, I don't know if it's not necessarily that the time. I don't feel like it, and maybe that was it. You know, I do have that booster pack though. I was gonna also like lately. It's been like 9 o'clock, and I'm like I'm not gonna go live at like 9 because I'm trying to go to bed earlier. And if I go live now, I am for sure gonna be up until at least midnight. And in an ideal world, Patrick would be asleep at midnight. I'm working on it. I'm getting closer and closer every day. I just like need to not, because what'll happen is I'll be in my bed and it'll like last night. It was like 11:45. And I was like by midnight, screens off. I'll go to bed. I was like, so I got a few minutes. I can watch a few shorts, reels, TikToks, whatever. And the scroll. And then I'm like, well, like, because last night I was like, well, as long as I'm in bed before 12:30, then it's still a win. Scrolling, watching. What did I watch? I think it was. I watched a few Trixie videos. Trixie Mattel. I watched her and Mistress Isabel Brooks, her and Lux Noir London. And then I was like, yeah, okay, it's time to go to bed. Yeah, it wasn't 3 o'clock. So, and I've still been waking up like 7, 8, 9, 10. So, like, I'll go to bed or I was waking up at like 6. I was staying up later and my body was just waking up earlier. And I'm like, I can't do this. Please, no. So, that's why I'm still alive. Am I going to make it? Final card, please. The final card, please. I'm gonna give this a nice number of shuffles. I'm starting to get hungry. Okay. Okay. Bottom of the deck is our favorite. So the High Priestess is the moon. The moon rules Cancer. The High Priestess is associated with Cancer and oftentimes Pisces. And sometimes also Scorpio, because it's just the intuitive in general. Two of Swords is at the bottom of the deck. The Two of Swords is it's an honorary Cancer card because for me, it is minor High Priestess, and the High Priestess is also associated with Cancer. And we've been seeing it this whole reading. Now, the first card that came out is the Knight of Swords. And we see the yellow butterflies. We see green flags. Different shades of green, green flags, yellow butterflies. Keep moving. The horses, I don't know what this horse is doing. I don't know who you are. Love that. And then the Queen of Cups came out on top of the Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles is the fourth decan of Cancer. Queen of Cups is like major arcana Cancer, cardinal water. So theoretically, it would be 2, 3, 4, Queen, King, Knight, and then major. But the Queen, King, Knight was where we start, and then the major is like the conclusion or beyond the conclusion. We did see the Ten of Pentacles. The major would be in the ever after part. Technically, the 4 would be the last step. But I only did that because I was like taking a eccentric purpose. I wanted to start with the queen rather than start with the 2. But theoretically, the queen would be after the 4. So this could be, there is some kind of completion that was reached on one side of the scale, Queen of Cups, and it's happening on the other side. This is the 3rd decan of Capricorn, so it's like immediately preceding the Queen of Pentacles, which would give us a queen-queen polarity. I don't know if this is like a green flags mean go. Because the 2 of Swords is here, the High Priestess is behind the 2 of Swords, and Temperance is behind the High Priestess. Love to see it. Love to see it. Because the 2 of Swords is here, and because Pentacles are Earth, this could be us. There is the thing that we intuit with the Queen of Cups, because now she doesn't have to be my Cancer card. She can be our pre-High Priestess. Oh my gosh. We have minor High Priestess, pre-High Priestess, and the High Priestess. We see her in every flavor in which she appears. I didn't catch that because I was thinking about the Queen of Cups as Cancer. But if I think about the Queen of Cups as pre-High Priestess energy, it's like we're starting to see the sign. We've received the intuitive vision, and now our 3D manifested reality is starting to reflect aspects of it in some kind of way, more and more and more. Like, these are the green flags mean go. That's why the Knight of Swords is continuing to move. And then it's going to reach this like 4 of Pentacles. I guess it was the Queen of Cups with the 4 of Pentacles. I guess there's a question of clarity of vision here. It's almost a question of the clarity of the vision. It's also almost if we'll see the signs as signs. And it's because, I mean, that's it. Because the Knight of Swords moves with information that is incomplete. Sometimes it's enough information for the Knight of Swords to be right. Sometimes the Knight of Swords is wrong. But the Knight of Swords moves with whatever information that it has. Now, because this is the Queen of Cups, and because the Queen of Cups is the pre-High Priestess, she doesn't necessarily see the vision in full, even if she sees the whole vision. She may only know it in parts because it's based off of her interpretation of the vision. It's based off of what she knows at that point. If this is a vision of the future, she's going to be a different person in the future. Hopefully. She's going to know more. She's going to have experienced more. It can mean something different in the future than it does in the present or than it did in the past. And that's these two together is like how clear or how accurate is this vision as we're moving forward with it. Now, there's something with this 4 of Pentacles that maybe it hasn't changed for a long time. We see like black flags. They're not even red. Oh, wait, there's a red flag right there. See that one? We got red flags and black flags. Black flags, to me, are reading like death, and red flags are reading like a red flag. Now, this green flag is so dark it's approaching that black color, but it isn't. That's like a hunter green. And I guess this one is like a Kelly green. I didn't even know Kelly green was a color until somebody told me. They know someone named Kelly Green, and like Kelly Green is her favorite color. It's just like there's something that may have taken a while, or it may seem like all hope is lost. 4 out of 5 of these flags are black. Is that a black flag in the back or a red flag? Like there's also this tiny little flag back here. So it's almost like when all hope is lost before someone gives up. But this is the power of someone's vision. They can see the black, they can see the green flags, they can see the signs that validate their vision. They can stay in this 2 of swords space without giving up. Like they can stay in this 2 of swords instead of it being like a 9 of swords. Because their intuition is still telling them that something is going to happen, something is going to break, something is going to move in this situation. And they keep moving with that knowing, even if the world isn't necessarily validating it as true at that time. And that's why it may seem like this person is moving with incorrect information. It's like, open your eyes, look at the world around you. Can't you see that? Blah, 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 whatever. And this is like, I have a higher sight. I have an informant on the other side. Like, bro, I know how this is going to play out. Ultimately, at the end of it, I know what the outcome is going to be. How it plays out in between, girl. 4 out of 5 of these flags done turned black already, and the last flag is red. But my eye can see the green flags that align with the vision that I received. So I know the divine is making me. It's almost like the divine is like, did you see that? Did you see that? And you're like, yeah, I saw that. I saw that. It's like it's happening. It's still happening. Don't lose faith. It may look bleak. It may look dark right now. You see the green flags. Keep going. And then ultimately, the 4 of Pentacles becomes the Queen of Pentacles. We get the 3D manifestation that reflects what it is that the vision that this Queen of Cups received. And because it's the theme today, you know we're going to go looking for it. I say that I don't usually do this for the final card, but I'm interested. I'm intrigued. Queen of Pentacles. Should we look or should we not look? If I encounter one of the squirrels before I see the Queen of Pentacles, then we won't look. If I see the Queen of Pentacles, then obviously I will. Whichever one comes first. Because sometimes, maybe it ain't for us to know. Sad squirrel, womp womp. So 7 of Swords, Knight of Cups, sad squirrel, 9 of Cups. I'm not supposed to look after 9 of Cups, 6 of Cups. I saw the sad squirrel, so we're not going to look before and after the Queen of Cups. Hold up. 7 of Swords, 9 of Pentacles, sad squirrel. Because it's the sad squirrel, I was like, oh. And I was like, man. But in the 7 of Swords, we see 2 green flags. Or is that one a little bit more blue? There's like a green flag and a blue flag. Yeah, there's a green flag and a blue flag. What would a blue flag be? A blue flag would be a nation's like banner, I guess, because I don't know what else a blue flag would be. Like I could see a black flag as funerary, a white flag as surrender, red flags and green flags, stop and go. I guess a yellow flag, like caution, a blue flag. I don't know. In the 7 of Swords, 1 flag is blue, 1 flag is green. Which to me, we've seen 4 out of 5 black flags, and the last one was red. That means I'm not picking my nose. That's like, that means that like low key, slowly but surely behind the scenes, something is happening to turn these black flags green. So we're not going to see the Queen of Cups, like what the manifestation of this vision is. But we do at least get a little bit of reassurance that like, it may be like, depending on what it is, maybe it's not being discussed that these black flags and green flags are turning green and blue, apparently. Maybe blue is like a bruised flag, like it's healing. I can see that. Blue is a bruised flag that's like healing. Cool. There we go. Final card. So, thank you, David and Kirsty, for spending some time with me. I don't know if Rob is still alive, but I'm gonna go see. I hope you all have an amazing whatever. Whenever you see this, I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope that whatever you need along your path, journey, and way you find. And I kind of want to read the book. I don't know what I would read though. I could read the Two of Swords because we've seen it so much. Nah, I'm not. We're just going to end it. So yeah, until next time, I think the only thing left that I have planned is to open up that final booster pack. I read Taurus season. This was my idea of how to read all of this Cancerian energy that's been coming out. And so I don't know if I'm gonna do that next time or if it'll be a little whatever. I would love to be able to like do a 5-10 minute reading and leave it at 5 to 10 minutes. Wow. For next Thursday at 12 noon. Okay. I will remember. And hopefully be there. I missed Reams Live yesterday because I was out running around with my family. We went to the gym later, and so that pushed everything back. And yeah, I was in the car or the grocery store, or where else did we go? Running errands. I missed it. And then, like, excuse me, low key, it's like when I'm with my number one fan, it seems like sometimes we talk, sometimes we're in our own little world. Like I'll be listening to whatever I'm listening to and she'll be listening to whatever she's listening to. A lot of times I feel like we're like talking, but it's like whenever I'm really trying to like listen to something, that's when the conversation needs to happen. So at this point, I don't even try. I'm like, I'll watch it when I get home or I'll listen later. It's fine. Anyway, what else do I hope for you? I hope for you. I hope for you a hope that I can't even put into words. But the hope feels like mine. It's like I hope. So yeah, I'll see y'all next time.